Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about a very important topic because it's the key to happiness, and that's achieving a flow state. Many of you might have achieved a flow state before. There's a common misconception in modern society that the greatest happiness is having nothing to do, being completely free, being able to watch TV or whatever all day. It's not true. The greatest happiness probably for humanity is achieving a flow state, and if you've had it before, you'll know it because it's where you're completely absorbed in what you're doing, and it's like minutes and hours pass like seconds. That's probably the happiest you ever will be. And so finding out what a flow state is and how to get to a flow state should be a critical skill in all of our toolboxes. But of course, many of us don't know how to do it. In fact, another common misconception is that flow states are only achieved A, doing something kind of meditation or something like that, specifically designed to achieve a flow state, or B, doing things that you enjoy, your hobbies. Whereas neither of these things are true. You can achieve a flow state in virtually any situation as long as you satisfy three conditions. The conditions are as follows. First, it needs to involve some form of skill, right? Skill that you possess. Second, the level of challenge of the activity must be broadly equivalent to your skill. In other words, it can't be too hard and it can't be too easy. And the third is there must be a clear goal and a constant feedback mechanism so you know how well you're doing. If those three things are present, you can achieve a flow state doing virtually any activity. Let me give you a simple example of reading. A lot of people sometimes think that reading is a bit boring or they can't keep concentration. Well, that's probably because the level of skill that's required is not sufficiently high. You can make, for example, a subject such as reading more challenging by, say, you're reading a novel, analysing characters, trying to understand their emotional complexity, analysing it as a piece of literature almost, like why did the writer write things this way? What kind of prose is he or she using? What kind of structure? In other words, deeply analyse it so that you can bring the challenge level up to the skill level. I often do that, for example, with the historical books that I read or the culture or philosophy books that I read. I try and put things into context. I try and apply them to my own life. In other words, I try and make the read more challenging. Many physical activities, of course, can fulfill the flow state. You do obviously get very constant feedback, and if the skill level is sufficiently demanding, you have to apply all your concentration to achieving that. So for example, today I was rowing in a single scull, which if you're not a rower is actually quite an unstable boat. There's a relatively high risk of falling in. And so I had to apply all of my concentration to my movements in the boat. And it was a relatively challenging movement because I haven't done much of it. And therefore it satisfied all of those three things, right? It was a skill level requirement that was pretty much equal to my maximum. It required my complete undivided concentration, and I got very instant feedback insofar as if I did something wrong, I'd fall in the water. And so your objective then is to take the activities, whether it be work, whether it be hobbies, whether it be anything that you do, and try and achieve these three conditions. You will notice, however, that the most important thing here is not what you do, it's how you do it. Virtually anything can be turned into a flow state provided that you satisfy these three conditions.